Is this the one?
Is it ever not the one?
That cat is not having it, dude.
It's retribution for the biting incident. Yeah, she doesn't like belly rubs, if you can't tell.
Yeah. Hello. Welcome to Shrimp Hours number 60. Is it actually 60? Damn. All right, that's a big number.
60.
That's 59 more than we thought we'd do. Yeah, hi. I'm Drive Through. Cody's here, Ben's here, Slab's here, Rusty's here. You know how it goes.
60 more than what I thought we were going to get.
Really? Yeah. I'm impressed.
Can we call it the outlap again?
No. But thanks to all the people for watching. I was gonna mention it last week, but I forgot to mention, like, we keep making the joke where, like, as soon as someone flips, it's a 10 out of 10 race. That was like an outlap original joke from back in the day. I think that was a Caleb original on like episode 0.2. Someone look it up. Anyway,
there's like 2 people on planet Earth besides us that know that.
NASCAR happened at Darlington, and I didn't watch because I was busy camping. Was it any good?
It's based.
I watched the last like 50 laps. There wasn't too much passing, but
that's what we saw in the Cup race.
Yeah, I watched the last stage because I was at Oswego watching real racing.
Yeah, Ben and I were at CTMP watching some damn good race.
Good Pinty's racing, people hitting the barriers.
Man,
was that Gary
Clute got fucked. Dude,
Yeah.
every year I cheer for him because he's always an underdog and he only runs like a few races, but he's like really good at CTMP. And he won one, I think, like 8 years ago, like where he stumbled into it. He's always like a good underdog, like good Ontario boy, you know? And he was doing really well. I think he was like second or third, but then it all got mixed up with the long green flag run and tires. And Pinty's is interesting because you can't, like in a pit stop, you can either fuel or do 2 tires, and that's it. Like you can't do more than that in a pit stop. So some guys in the long run will just come in and fuel up and then just keep running out there on old tires. And some guys will take just left sides and some guys will do 3 stops to go fuel left sides and right sides. And Gary got all his tires early and he was doing well. And then some dude in the back got stuck somewhere. Caution came out. They restarted with like 12 to go or something.
Yeah, 12
and then
or 11.
Andrew Ranger, when making a move to take the lead, they're side by side for the lead in turn 10. And his engine goes and he drops oil all over the track and it catches on fire and he spins out and Gary hits it and got fucked. And dude, we literally we were like, oh my god, what's going on? Because suddenly there's fire and cars everywhere. And then all the cars roll by and then we just see Gary Clute's broken ass car roll by.
No.
There was a great god damn it from both me and Ben. And then Ben, I guess, yeah, hold on. Afterwards, he was broken and he was driving around, but his hood was popped up so high that he couldn't see. So when he tried to roll it back into the pits, he missed and hit the barrels. And that completely fucked his car. And then he had to get out and go home. So unfortunately,
like pit road and garage access with your tickets.
We don't get pit road, but we get garage, but there's no actual garage, so it's all outdoors, but we can just
you just walk by like.
Yeah,
so had some pretty good pictures of the aftermath of said
Ben went for a pee break right afterwards, and to get there you have to like go to the infield like behind the pits, so he got a great shot of them literally putting the tarp on Gary's car.
It's over.
59 Dodge, that's kind of hot.
Yeah, it's sick.
It's going to Dale Jr.'s graveyard by the looks of it.
Gary Clute in this game. But unlike me in Core Season 2, he couldn't hit the barrels and then win the race. So, unfortunate.
Damn.
And he hit it hard. Like, we could hear the...
Dude, yeah, because I'm sure he was rolling and he wasn't expecting it because he's just going around, like, looking around his hood, trying to get into the pits, and then just boom into the end of the wall. It was tough to watch. But the rest of the race was a banger. They had like an 8-lap run off the final green flag, and the leader was like pulling away a little bit.
Did Ben kill his cat and skin it? What is that?
I always think that
That's
that's
Caleb's
his cat.
rabbit.
It's a
I-
rabbit hide.
I always think that that's the cat like draped over the back of, and we're just seeing like the back end of the cat. I always think that.
Yeah.
The,
You ever wonder what happened to Caleb's rabbit? There it is.
Oh, no.
Become a headrest.
Became a hawk's dinner.
In typical CTMP fashion, the second place guy like caught up to the leader, and on the last lap he had one chance to make the move.
Every time.
Every time. Like like it was an 8-lap run, and for the first 3 laps the leader was pulling away, but then the third place guy got around second place and he started moving. And they're side by side down the straightaway coming into turn 8. And he couldn't make the move. He got stuck on the outside of 8. He was on the inside of 9. Gave him like a bump, like a solid bump, but like not enough. And he didn't shove him in 10 like most people do. And they ended up coming in line like just slightly side by side. And Kevin Lacroix won like the 9th race I've seen him win at CTMP.
Yeah. And Kevin Lacroix said at the end, like he lifted so that they could be side by side on those last 2 corners.
Yeah, he said in the post-race interview, like if you know, he didn't want the guy to be behind him coming through the final section because then he'd just get bumped. So he purposefully lifted on the straights so that they were side by side coming in that last set of corners.
That's so odd. It's
Yeah,
kind of
it
like the
worked
Ryan
very
Blaney
well.
finish in the trucks. That's odd.
And he had a very interesting victory celebration. He did
Did he do a shoey?
No, he did the Homer Simpson on the track.
Oh yeah, the donut.
He just got out of the car. Let me pull it up here.
When was the last time trucks were at
He
CTMP?
just started doing
Oh my.
laying down donuts on the start finish line.
The curly
And he's holding
shuffle.
the flag like that because the thing fell off.
Yeah, he waved the flag once and it fell off with a stick, which I've never seen before either.
Dude, I just hear fucking Curly from Three Stooges. Just fucking
Dude, look at how hot
Yeah.
that car is though. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, he wasn't running Napa car.
It's
today.
literally just a white and
First time
black
this season.
car. It looks like a cop car.
I know anything but a next gen car, and I'm like fully hold.
Those things are like, if you see them in person, they're like early 90s NASCAR, just with a somewhat modern nose, so it looks like a Camaro or it looks like a Dodge.
Yeah, and they're all fiberglass.
Yeah, even the spoiler is fiberglass. Like it's built into the rear end.
Yeah, take it to Daytona so that thing snaps off. No balls.
Yeah, when they make contact, the cars just like explode.
But that's what makes it great.
There's also like, I think we're up to like 3 Mustangs now, which is 2 more than last season. Except one of them was being driven by some local guy who was just an animal. We watched him spin in qualifying, and then he spun again in the race, just in the back on his own completely.
That'd be me.
It's a damn good time though. The other racing was really good too. The Sentras and Micras were going at it constantly.
Shout out to Mr. Puffs.
That's Mr. Puffs. And the 1600s were racing good.
Is that the long lost spouse of Mrs. Puff?
There's some, I think it's a Quebec thing. It's like a little,
Now, canonically
like-
speaking, Mrs. Puff killed her husband.
I guess it's like a,
Oh, is that a SpongeBob lore thing I've never heard?
Yeah,
is it? All right. This sounds like
yeah,
a
because
YouTube video.
she used to be married, and then at some point she's like, "I gotta leave here. I gotta change my name." She says, "No, not again."
We need to have that be a future slaps crazy ass moments. Time Mrs. Puff fucking murdered her husband and got away with it.
Was Oswego racing good, Slap? How was it out there?
It was excellent. NASCAR modifieds, excellent, you know, as always. And then they had the Sportsman mods, which is like the Stafford SK modifieds. They look a lot like NASCAR modifieds, but got a little bit more oomph, and they're a little bit crazier, and there's like 36 of them.
Yeah, those are
Oh
the same
my
things
God.
we saw at New Smyrna, right? They
Yeah.
called them,
Yeah,
what,
the torch
602s?
types. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, those were like the second mods that went on that had like way more cars, I think, if I'm remembering
Yeah.
correctly.
Yeah, it's like a unified rules package for those, so they like fucking race everywhere.
Hell yeah.
But dude, it was Oswego has steel boilerplate walls, and so they have like a redneck safer barrier, just chunks of foam. And dude, those SK modifieds would go out there, lose it, hit a fucking foam block, and the thing would go like up over the tower, and then
Start snowing.
and then somebody else would hit it, and there would just be tons of styrofoam dust all over the track.
Tons of foam.
Dude, the super modifieds. The last time I went in 2021, there was 28 super modifieds. This year there was 36.
Jesus Christ!
So
God
they have a limit of 34. They didn't have enough to do a B main. They call their B main the Killer B. So they didn't have enough to do a Killer B, so they did like time trials for the bottom 10. And during time trials, one guy blew his engine, another dude crashed and completely mangled the left side of his car. Because when you lose it in a super modified, you're fucking gone. You're not saving that thing.
Yeah.
So that thing snapped. It went around. He hit, basically driver's side into the foam. Dude, that foam's like all caked in. It's in the driver's compartments and the engine compartments and the hubs. It's like all inside the car. Yeah, it's probably in his mouth.
I'm gonna pull up the modified crash just to show y'all the foam situation here.
Shout out to the lap car.
Yeah, just sitting right in the groove in the way, and the foam goes flying.
It's winter enough.
It gets punted
There was so
again.
much foam on the ground outside the turns. It was ridiculous.
Doesn't
Dude,
one of them get
those are-
stuck in their windshield? Yeah, they're.
Oh,
Look at the foam.
Dude, you know those are just like
inside the car too, in the passenger window.
Yeah, there's just tons of foam because it breaks apart immediately, and then it's not like the ones in Japan. They put like plastic around the foam things, so when they break apart, they don't get foam everywhere. But I guess Oswego is not interested.
This is America. We don't care about the environment.
Dude, there's a
vacuum.
dumpster on the inside of the track where they put all the broken up foam. And dude, it was empty on Friday when I got there. By the time the classic was over, dude, it was like up over the top, like foam just like all coming out and everything.
Dude, I imagine that those are totally just old used archery like practice blocks, like that they just shoot
Oh,
arrows
these are
into.
way bigger.
And then once they get done with them, it's like, hey, let's just ship them to Oswego.
So is this the only like track in like the world where it's just like a foam wall? Like, what is this?
No, there's one I've seen clips of like K&N West racing somewhere and smashing into foam blocks.
Slinger uses that foam for like the pit road opening in turn 2. But that's it.
Yeah, it's like the Watkins Glen foam that Jimmy Johnson ran into.
Yeah.
Yeah. Foam walls are a proud upstate New York tradition. But there was 2 super modifieds that were going to go home. One guy blew his engine, the other dude crashed. So we had a full 34 car field. 12 cars finished.
God damn.
Yeah, so
It's like the little 500 over again.
Yeah.
because like those super modifieds are notoriously unreliable, and they normally do like 30, 50 lap features. Well, this is a 200 lap race, no pit stops. Like you just go out there, a 1 tank of gas, and you just make it work. When they go out for time trials, they put just enough fuel in it to do their 5 laps, and that's it. And then they have a full fuel load that they do a final practice in. And so you have to guesstimate how much fuel you need to do the whole race.
Yeah.
And these things are fucking flying. They're like 15 seconds around a 5/8 of a mile track that's basically flat. But when they start off the race, you're doing like 17-second laps, even with fresh tires, because they just have so much fuel packed in there. Well, coming off of the final turn for the white flag, guy's been leading for like the back half of the race. He runs out of gas for the second year in a row. And it was a local kid, won his first international classic. What that last lap pass, dude's run out of gas, just flies past him and ends up winning it. His whole family was like freaking out. Mom and dad are crying. He's, his fucking smoking hot wife is there, just like jumping all over him. But yeah, it was like really, really cool to be there. And I met some people that knew who I was, and they gave me like free beer and brats the whole fucking weekend.
Hell yeah.
Yes. And they were like, "Are you gonna stay in here?" They were the stands with us for the classic, and I was like, I really, really want to, but I got to be in the pits for this one because I am here. The Oswego gave me a pit pass, so I got to use it. I got to get like footage and shit. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to spin the whole 200 laps with them. But yeah, down in the pits, it's fucking absolute anarchy because the pit lane is like a double-sided pit lane, so both sides get used. So it's complete anarchy. People are running around, trying not to get hit, and cars are flying down there. Safety crews like telling you to get the fuck out of the way. Yeah, it's absolutely nuts over there. And if you better once the cars get moving, you just pick a spot inside the infield to watch it, and then you wait for a caution to move because you literally can't move. There's nowhere to go. So pick your spot wisely.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever mentioned it, but yeah, Slap's fucking famous. He got recognized at the Milwaukee Mile like literally 8 times. Like just some random ass race in Milwaukee. He's like, "Are you Slap? Like, are you Slap?" The moment we got up, like the first, the magical moment when you get to the track, you do the initial walk up and you go up the stands and you see the track.
The
for the
car
first
flies
time.
by.
So we just do that, and we're like hanging out there for like literally 2 minutes, right where we like picked to just watch the track for the first time. Like literally, the kid that was next to us. Are you Slap Shoes?
Whoa!
I was gonna say usually it's a dad.
It's always cool to see those moments. Like that happened a lot at North Wilkesboro and even at the 500. Slap got stopped a couple times.
Yeah,
Did
Slap's
we
famous.
get that at all at Road America?
I don't know.
I don't think it's so because most of the people at Road America are like fans of Road America. They just go there because there's a race. They're not
It's the
even
same thing
NASCAR
in
fans.
CTNT.
Yeah.
But yeah, prove that there's lots of Slap fans in Wisconsin.
I think the best decision you made for that was going to Air Base for like part 3, actually like being on camera. Here's this shit, here's that shit.
Yeah.
I think that's what took you from like just a faceless voice to like actually like here's Slap, and then you just turned it into an on location thing.
Oh.
Yeah, and
when
then
he rotated the map, we all pulled our dicks out.
That's when
I
history
know I
changed
always
forever.
say this, but like people will like say that sometimes. Like that was a great bit. I was like, that wasn't a bit. That was like an actual revelation I had. I was like, the fucking the government fucking filed this photo on their digital archive, not already oriented north south. So I had to like rotate it, and I was like, oh, there it is. We found it. Because I had like given up at that point. I was just like, oh, we need to. I'm putting up a bounty so somebody can get an aerial shot of this. And it would been really embarrassing if I had like actually gone through with that, and then somebody's like, yeah, rotate the map, you fucking idiot.
Some guy named Drive Through from the Outlap podcast.
I think I've mentioned it before, but I literally saw that picture. I was like digging through that like government aerial photo archive thing. And I just couldn't make sense of like the way the runways were positioned, but it just took Slap to be like, oh yeah, you just turn it.
Yeah, because this is the American military. They're fucking stupid. They don't orient stuff and file it away properly.
I was digging through the archive trying to get my copy
is for
of,
sissies, okay? We're real men over here.
Hell, they can't even keep track of their nukes, apparently, as we've been.
Hey,
They're just randomly
tuition somehow.
Yeah, randomly dropping out of planes onto North Carolina and Spain, and being left on the tarmac for days at a time.
They don't know what's in Slap's basement.
I think we all know what's in my basement at this point.
The dungeon.
All right, it's time for what's Twitter doing. This segment where we talk about what the hell is going on with Twitter.
Ooh, I saw something.
Okay.
A Stern bomb. Apparently, it's all but confirmed that IndyCar is coming to the Milwaukee Mile next year.
Ooh, they're back. Hell yeah! Are they gonna?
Like 2015.
Are they gonna mix that with the trucks like they do Texas? Because that'd be a good time.
They should.
They should.
Yeah, they should.
I was telling Slap while he was out here. It's like if they ever brought Cup and Xfinity back to Road America, did that on the same weekend, and then trucks like on that Friday night, I would nut. Trucks at the Milwaukee Mile Friday night, and then Xfinity and Cup at Road America Saturday, Sunday. I would nut. But
when they used to have night races at Milwaukee, was that temporary lighting that they brought in, or did they tear down the lighting?
I don't know. They have
because they don't have lights there anymore.
Oh, they didn't?
No, there's no light towers. I didn't see any of those like Musco or
I think
whatever
they just tore that down just initially, slowly over time when they thought that the track was going to be dead. Like the same thing they did with the
Yeah,
scoring pylon.
Yeah, they took down the scoring pylon. That's what was the most annoying thing about the truck race was that there was no scoring pylon. I don't know how many laps are left. I don't know who's where.
There was a tiny little screen, but it was hard to see.
Yeah, it was like on the back of a pickup truck.
Yeah. Yeah,
Sounds like North of Wilkesboro.
All right, IndyCar.
I wonder if
will
those lights were
spruce it
moved to
up.
North Wilkesboro, reused.
Maybe.
Yeah, the LED lights.
Yeah.
Maybe. Also on Twitter this week, NASCAR posted a picture of Ryan Preece because his eyes are all jacked up from flipping his dick off, and people got pissed.
Dude, that was legendary, that picture. Dude, he looks
Yeah, it was
fucking-
sick.
It was like Davey
and-
Allison.
Yeah,
Dude, he looked
NASCAR.
worse than
Ricky
Davey
Rudd.
Allison.
NASCAR tweeted Ryan Preece is a badass, and people got upset about it, which is interesting.
Did Rusty Wallace ever have those eyes? Because he had like 5 of those fucking crashes.
He had 2 the same season.
Yeah.
Daytona
wanna-
and
Just
Talladega,
blood
I
vessels
believe.
of steel.
The Daytona flips, I mean, he flipped a lot, but it wasn't like crazy fast. Talladega, he was going crazy fast, so he had to have.
It's all that Miller Genuine Draft. It like inflamed. It like inflamed his capillaries so they didn't burst.
Dude, that's so crazy to think that like comes from the G-forces being so strong from that car just spinning so incredibly fast. It's basically trying to push your eyes out of your fucking head.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna.
qualifying after eating a sandwich was the most dangerous thing he's done.
I'm not gonna show the picture, but it's pretty gnarly. Like he's got the bloodshot eyes, and it just looks like he has 2 black eyes. Like underneath his eyes is all dark, and you could tell as soon as he put out that video of him not talking with sunglasses on that something was up. But man, it looks brutal.
Yeah, Slap called it. I think he quote tweeted like the picture of Davey Allison like before like anyone knew what his eyes.
Well,
looked
I think
like.
he called it on like the Monday or the Sunday after. Like it's just brutal.
But people got pissed about it.
Dude, he looks like fucking DB Cooper.
He genuinely does.
Yeah, with those glasses, his mouth and like his kind of receding hairline, his like longer face. I was just like, that's fucking DB Cooper. Ryan Preece, how did your dad get his money to fund your racing career? Answer me now.
It's DB Cooper Jr.
Anyway,
Ryan Preece, does your dad have knowledge of how to operate a parachute and a dummy chute with a cash payload?
that's Ryan Preece. I don't know how he did, but he
We
said
need
he
these
was like
questions answered.
he was feeling fine. Like it just popped blood vessels, but he can still see fine, and it doesn't like hurt or anything.
It's making my
I don't
eyes
know.
water just thinking of that picture.
Like obviously you don't want to see it because it looks horrible, and you don't want to see like any kind of like physical change to a driver in a crash. But people were once again very, very, very upset about it.
it's just temporary.
People are
It's a
too
bruise.
sensitive on Twitter.
Speaking of very upset and people being
Speaking
sensitive
of
on Twitter.
being sensitive, yeah.
What did I miss?
So Darian put out a tweet after the Bowman Suarez incident where Bowman just kind of like double block wrecked himself and Suarez. As a Suarez fan, I'm kind of pissed about.
I still think that second block was a result of his bumper getting hooked, but yeah, that was still
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Second was kind of erasing it, but it's base of Suarez to keep his foot in it.
With
Yeah,
50 laps
yeah.
to go, you idiot.
No, I'm
And
just saying that was absolutely on him to like throw that initial.
Yeah, that's what
block
I'm.
in the
That's
first
what, yeah,
place.
I'm. So,
He,
I'm just like,
and
why
he
would you throw the
blocked,
block in the first
he
place?
blocked Chastain the lap
Yeah.
before too.
Just had it
but
up
yeah.
for Trackhouse, damn.
This isn't the 550 horsepower package, Bowman. You can't do that anymore.
So Darian tweeted out like, I think this is why, or I think he said like, there's a reason why Bowman's the worst driver in Hendrick, which is like
I mean, is he wrong?
factual. Like he's not wrong. And people got very upset about it. It turned into this thing where I don't even know who it was. Some random dude just
Well,
I think
it's a bunch of people that have profile photos that aren't of themselves, and their names are like Bowman fan 48.
yeah, it was like something 48 fan was like,
yeah.
this is why everyone hates Darian. And then everyone's just started jumping on it. Which, like, listen, man, I've been there. Sometimes your tweet goes beyond your target audience. These things happen. And
Speaking of which, I do that to Los all the time. Like he'll be like tweeting something like his little enclave of people, and I'm like, oh, that's funny. Retweet. Let me send that to my 15,000 followers and see how he likes it.
and I've talked about the Twitter paradox before, but like I mean, I can tweet like just random crap to my little audience, and that's totally fine. But as soon as people start liking it and it starts getting passed around, I get people in their replies being like, "Why are you making such a big deal about this? Like, I can't believe you feel so intensely about it." And I'm like, I just tweet the same crap as always. Like, I'm sorry that I got likes.
Yeah, let me take this out of context and shit on you and dunk on you. Like,
And that happened to Darian. And listen, I've been there. I've wanted to be the guy to go through all the replies and be like, "You suck, you're stupid, that's dumb." Like, but I've never done it because I know it'll just go worse for me. But then Darian actually did it. He spent the next like 24 hours just going at people on Twitter.
It should be noted that Darian has Twitter Blue, so he gets paid for that.
It's true.
Hey, he's making money. He's a provocateur. He's got to provoke people, man. We got to get those engagements. We got to get those clicks.
He's getting that check. What is it? Like, oh
I respect it. I respect the
Twitter
hustle.
yet to pay a second payment on that, by the way?
Yeah. They ended, like a lot of people got a second payment, but it was way less the second go around.
It was a good stunt.
I wanted to see how hard Darian worked for that 32 Dima dollars.
Well, people got really pissed, including who was it? Stephen Malozzi?
Caesar Milan.
Is that the guy? He's done like a few truck races and some ARCA stuff, and he went like on about it. Michael Klein went on about it. He was like, "I used to hang out with that guy, and now here's why he has no respect." And then he got so many of those, like just the people that jump in and because Darian talked a bunch of shit about ARCA and stuff like that, and people were like, "Darian, man, like I'm so disappointed in you. This is like I don't really." There were just so many of those replies. Which, like, I've seen this all before. It's so lame when everyone wants to jump in and be like, you know, "I'm so disappointed in you. You know, I know this isn't how you're
sweetie,
like."
this is really problematic.
Opinions.
Do better.
Yeah. Over such like, I don't know. He didn't need to go in and play with all of them, but I guess he's making money from it, so I respect it.
Can we talk about NRF's moment?
That was, I'll be honest, really funny.
Like, dude, I feel like NRF's gonna come back and people are gonna love him. Like, he's gonna go full circle. I
don't think anyone's thought of that one before.
He's following 0 people on Twitter. What does his feed? What does his feed look like?
I guess we should inform the people. NRF made a joke about Martin Truex Jr. cutting cancer out of his life after he left his wife, longtime girlfriend, who had actual cancer.
Yeah.
He tried to cover himself.
Had to be intentional.
He tried to cover himself by prefacing by saying, "You could make the insensitive joke," and then he just says the insensitive joke. Yeah. It's like, no, that's not how it works.
It's just
that's how YouTube works.
That's like Donald Trump when he said, "You know, I could have said horrible things about Kim Jong-un. Could have called him short. Could have called him fat, but I didn't. I didn't."
It's just like, I can't even remember the exact quote, but he did that about Hillary one time.
Yep.
He was like, "Oh, someone in the audience just said something awful about her. I'm not gonna say it." And then he like goes on to say it like 10 seconds later. And he's just sitting there with his signature just Trump grin. Just
that's just the type of thing that no one else would like think of. Like, I don't know how NRF comes up with this stuff, but usually concerning.
He's channeling his
Hey, he's getting those engagements, man.
He did.
Getting those hate clicks.
He did. It's true, and it always works.
Yep.
Anyway, good week on NASCAR Twitter. You love to see it.
That's the worst thing about making money on the internet is like you could have like a really well-informed video like about the JFK assassination, and all it takes is for some fucking 18-year-old with nothing better to do a reaction to it or say something incredibly fucking stupid, and he can make more money than you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, Slap. My next upload is like exactly what I told you it's gonna be.
It's gonna be your empty chair watching my latest video. and you're gonna come back with like some half-eaten chicken wings, saying, "What did I miss, guys?"
The
Bring
little
back the
folding,
sandwich.
the little Iowa State like folding chair just sitting there.
They stole
I'm
the
not even
basketball
coming
court.
back. It's gonna be like a 24-hour video.
I have to make a correction. It was Ted Cruz he was attacking,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
and the comment was,
All right, well, that's fine.
Speaking of the JFK assassination, Ted Cruz, where was your dad?
Jesus Christ.
That's an American joke.
That's a. Isn't that another Trump one?
Yeah, that was another Trump one. He
Yeah.
spread a conspiracy theory that Ted Cruz's dad had helped Lee Harvey Oswald.
Jesus Christ. All right, we're going to Drip or Drown. This is why I need a theme song, just to break the tension. I need a button to hit.
Cruz.
Look, I was on
all right.
vacation with you.
All right. I'm gonna try and get through this quickly. I just have like a random assortment of things to show you. First of all, Legacy Motorcycle Club announced that Carson Hocevar is gonna drive a white car, with the standard Sunseeker Resort thing, which
It's way better, but it
which
kind of pisses
you
me
might
off.
ask, what the hell have they been running? Because Gregson was running a silver car, but after he got the boot, they changed the design pretty hastily to this light blue with white text that no one can read and a like just big old gradient picture on the side.
I thought it was battle damage during the race. Like I had no idea what was going on there.
Oh yeah,
That's
on
just
TV, I thought that was like a, I don't know, tire or something.
There's
Yeah.
no integration into the design. It's just a picture with a big soft edge around it, and you can't read any of the text from any distance. Like the
You can
Gregson,
barely
like,
see the fucking number.
the Gregson silver one is good, and I can see why they wanted to change it immediately, but that's tough. And now they're like, okay, we're just gonna put black text on a white car, and it's gonna be fine. I guess. I don't think anyone's gonna remember that, but shout out to fucking LMC.
It's definitely
boy.
better than Darlington.
Yeah. Chase Briscoe, who by the way is still in the Cup Series, he drove like a black
What?
version of his blue High Point car. Just for the lady in black. What they
I was
said.
gonna say, have we figured this out? He's ran this a couple times, I think.
No, they were like, hey, it's the lady in black. He's gonna run a black car, which I guess is fine because this isn't like the throwback race. Because Stuart Haas did that once with Danica, where they just gave her a black car on throwback day, and it was really dumb. But this kind of cool. I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know why it's a
At
thing,
least you
but
can see the sponsors.
it's true. Unlike Briscoe's other cars, you can see the sponsors.
Odie's
Like
fan
the
has
High Point.
returned.
What was that one last week? What are you talking about, my fan?
Some vacation thing. Stuart Haas just dropped. Eric Almirola is running a half and half Smithfield Whataburger, and this has been sent to me by two separate people who have both mentioned how bad it is, but I actually don't
I
mind
like it.
It's like one of the better integrated half and half
Yes.
cars. Stuart Haas
I like
is
the orange
generally
numbers.
really
a lot.
bad at doing the half and halves, but yeah, the orange chrome number, the like
Little
Whataburger put
zigzag.
into the design, yeah, that's not bad.
It almost reminds me of
love
like the
Whataburger.
Penske scallops on the side.
Yeah, but this is like the Smithfield thing, and it's gonna say Smithfield on the hood, and I think that's cool. I mean, maybe they could put some orange around the front or something, but like, that's a lot better than they usually do. So
Dude,
I
when
Way
I,
pass
better
it
than like
grade.
the IHOP thing they had going on.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing. Yep.
Yeah.
when I was down in New Mexico, I ate so much Whataburger.
Mm.
Dude, I went to
Apples up here.
Texas like last year and I had Whataburger. And everybody's like, "Oh, Whataburger's like mid." I was like, "Dude, that's the best burger I've ever had at like a chain restaurant."
Dude,
It's
when
pretty-
you get a
yeah,
good
it's
one,
pretty up
oh
there.
my lord.
Yeah, it's probably
It's like a
top three
southern thing,
fast
right?
food. Yeah, kind of. Not like strictly, but yeah, it's like mainly like in like Texas and New Mexico,
All
and
right.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, I would say the only questionable thing about the scheme is it's running at Kansas and not Texas.
Yeah,
I think there's some.
Do they have
Whataburgers
Whataburgers in Kansas?
I don't think so. I think they got Freddy's and Culver's up there, but no Whataburger.
And what's that place with the alcohol?
Oh,
Oh,
Spangles.
Spangles.
They got Spangles.
Oh shit! I gotta meet up Seymour for some Spangles on Saturday. Like,
Literally, the only reason I want to go to Kansas is to go to Spangles.
They
Get
got
a
plenty of
drive-through
Whataburger.
that needs to be the next shrimp
Yeah.
trip. Is just Spangles.
They got
Get a
Whataburgers in
cocktail to
Kansas
go.
City.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, so I'm gonna stick to our theme of this is actually gonna tie a lot of things together. Stephen Malozzi, the guy who's talking shit about Darien, just announced that he's running the 22 truck with Outback Steakhouse on the truck. Pretty bad design with a tiny ass logo, but sort of reminiscent of the old Outback Harvick cars. Stephen Malozzi, by the way, the reason he got this deal is he literally works at Outback. And he put a tweet out about how he raced in the Martinsville race in the 22 truck, and then went back home, and then the next morning he was working at Outback. And apparently they, corporate liked it, and put it on the truck. So kind of based. Stephen Malozzi dropping that like the day after Darien dropped his shit too. That's kind of a banger. All right, I think like 3 Xfinity cars. This Kyle Weatherman's driving one of the biggest turds I think I've seen all season. Which sucks because I'm assuming they didn't go to their normal guy, because DGM usually goes to race artist, and he's really good, and this is just, I mean, that's how to not do chrome numbers with a dark red outline. And
that drink literally called Tweaker.
It is called Tweaker.
Oh my god.
It uses like a almost meme of a font, like that's Sofa Chrome. That's like the old Pontiac Grand Prix logo used that font. Ed Soundhead's logo uses that font.
Comic Sans while they're at it.
With a like gradient through the middle of it. It's
Leave
tough.
Eddie out of this.
All right, sorry. I gotta.
Yeah,
be
he's
nice
not here to
our
defend himself. It's just
recently deceased friend.
Leave my boy's name out your.
Yeah, shout out to Ed. We apparently lost Eddie.
Yeah, he's dead.
We lost him in a boating accident.
Anyway, we're going from a drown to a drip because there's a new fucking Ryan Ellis car that Ryan Pistana did with American Racing and Kansas Land.
Why
on the
is
hood.
that a blue box logo on that killer paint scheme?
I don't care because it's a banger, and I don't know if they can do this with the Camaro logo.
There's no way.
Where it
There's
switches colors, but if they do, it'll be the greatest thing in history.
I feel like Monster's going to send a cease and desist too on that.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of stuff. Why is Monster sending it? Because of this?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. I don't know why that's there. But the car overall just looks sick. Like he did some cute little prismatic color gradient type thing on the side. I just love the completely asymmetrical hood. Like we need more of that, please. That thing, like that looks sick. White on one side, black on the other, with the stripe going nuts.
Yeah, is NASCAR gonna approve this?
Well, I mean, they announced it, so I would hope so.
If they don't,
comes in with a all white car,
I think
then
it's even enough on the sides. They'll be fine with that.
If they don't, I know where NASCAR HQ is.
Speaking of which, we went to Darlington for the second time this season, and it wasn't technically Throwback Week, but God bless Alpha Prime Racing. They just put 3 banger throwbacks in.
Holy
anyway.
shit.
Number fonts and logos. Are you kidding me? Look at that.
Dude, holy shit.
They did a whole ass like 43 Bobby Labonte thing, which looks sick. They did a whole ass like Kyle Petty fucking Brawny car, which looks sick.
Let me tell you about Brawny.
And they did like the older 45s.
Sprint.
Yeah, the sprint car. Looks sick. They're all bangers.
I gotta say, every time they like go to Kyle Petty, he is nothing more than like gracious, and he's promoting all this. Like Kyle Petty is a legend.
Yeah.
He's a
Shout out to
great
Kyle Petty.
ambassador of the sport.
Fucking 60 whatever years old, still pumping out kids. The beast. I got one more thing for Drip or Drown, and this is not a paint scheme. It's an entire car. Formula 2 announced their next gen car starting to race next year, and I think it. All right. I think it's one of the hottest.
What the hell is even
ever.
that?
What's going on in the rear, the front? I do DT.
It's got like an F1 style front wing. It's got the little shark fin, the F2 flamethrower exhaust.
That spoiler's kind of weird.
It's got like the Super Formula wing on it.
Why
it's
is
got
it
the
mounted in
big-ass
like
wheels.
3 different ways?
I'll go fuck myself. I just think it looks sick.
It looks weird from the side.
Is that a rudder? Is that a rudder?
Yeah,
That's the DRS thing.
Oh,
spoiler
no,
is
no,
weird.
no.
No, that's a boat rudder on that carbon fiber right there.
I'll go fuck
I think
myself.
you're the odd one out in this one, DT.
I just like how it looks like an F1 car, but like smaller, which is how F1 cars should be
Stupider.
because they're way too
I do
big.
like the smaller size. I was gonna shout that out, but it looks like, I don't know, dude.
All right,
I think it looks neat.
I liked it.
I think I had a
Right.
Hot Wheel toy when I was 6 that looked like that.
I just bought a
God.
$1 Matchbox
God.
one like that.
Damn it.
Yeah.
All right, let's do the media check-in.
DT does indeed miss sometimes.
These things happen. I don't miss. The table just disagrees with me. All right, we're doing the media check-in after the Pinty's race on Sunday. We wanted to play disc golf, but it was like so hot. It was like 30 degrees, and it was just feeling gross.
85.
Sure, yeah. So after the Pinty's race, we had a shower, and then we watched the Gran Turismo movie. In a really nice theater, by the way. Those seats were like 15 Canadian, which is what, like $9 and they had the
Like
full
3 cents.
recliner,
Like
full
12.
recliner ones where you can sit down and they get a little button you can like put your feet up and lean back.
It was a
um,
small ass theater too.
Well, yeah, it's in Bowmanville, Ontario. There's not a lot of people out there.
Alex Bowmanville.
But we watched Gran Turismo movie, and it was. I've heard good things, and it wasn't that good. It was okay. Can we-
DT liked it more than I did. I think.
How does it compare to the Sim Racer movie?
Can we?
Sim
oh,
Racer
it's better
was
than
more
that.
memorable.
How many foot fetish references was there in Gran Turismo?
None. Okay, we're gonna drop.
The
some
Sim
Gran
Racer's
Turismo
already
sequels.
better.
I'm watching. I'm out.
Yeah, Sim Racer's already better than.
Can we talk spoilers? Is that okay? This movie's been out for
Yeah.
a few weeks.
Yeah,
I'm probably not gonna.
If you haven't watched
No
it
one
yet,
else is going to watch it.
yeah, all right. It was not great. The first like quarter of the movie was made by someone who's never played Gran Turismo in their life. Like it starts off, it's like here's the dude, he's like young, and his dad's like, go outside, stop playing video games. And he's like, no, Dad, I want to play video games.
Go play
And then
soccer.
he sneaks out with his brother one night, and they're like drunk. I guess he's not drunk, but the friends in the car are
brother
drunk, and they
is,
get into a
yeah.
police chase, and he starts running from the cops in like his parents' Scirocco.
Based.
And it puts an overlay like it's Gran Turismo, but it's like a Need for Speed thing because he's getting away from the police. And it's, what did it say? It said like cops avoided on the
Cops
screen.
avoided.
Like it was an
looked like,
achievement.
It looked like
And that's not Gran Turismo. And that
it looked
didn't
like
add
Need for
anything to
Speed
his
Underground
character.
when you're trying to avoid the cops, and
Yeah.
it just pops up like you've successfully avoided the cops.
Some writer was like, car game, I know how that works. So I don't know how Gran Turismo was okay with that, because that was like just totally against all of their values.
It's gonna be like that live action Super Mario movie. Like when Nintendo saw that come out, because they gave like the full reins over to the American studio that made that back in the 90s. When they saw that end result, they did not give any American studio rights to any Nintendo projects for like the next 2 decades.
It just blows my mind because this is supposed to be like the PlayStation Productions thing, and that was just totally off. And then like it was just so predictable. Like he makes it to the contest where they get all the dudes together, and then it's like, oh, it's the final race. This is gonna decide who like gets the contract.
Setting up to
Who's
that
gonna
was like
do it?
fully rushed and
Yeah,
was not.
they were just like, here's all these characters. By the way, they're gone. They're gone. They're gone.
Oh yeah, here's a girlfriend. So we got the case of the not gays.
It was literally like, here's the girlfriend. They talked, and she was immediately like super interested. She's like, "What do you do?" And he's like, "Oh, I play video games, cards." And she's like, "Wow, that's so cool." And it's like, no, it's
I'm
not.
sorry, it's a simulator.
And then she was like, "Oh, sorry, I'm leaving to somewhere else." And he's like, "Oh, I guess I won't see you." And she's like, "Oh, I'll follow your racing adventures." And then he gets the competition thing. They do the final race. It's like, oh no, what's gonna happen? They come side by side of the line. He beats the other guy in like a photo finish. It's like, wow, he won the competition. and then he starts actually racing, and he has to like finish fourth in like the certain number of races, and it comes to the final race, and they're side by side coming the line, and he wins it in a photo finish. It's like, wow, he barely did it. And then they go into the final race, and they come to there's a bunch of stuff happens, and they come to the finish line side by side, and he barely gets on the podium, which is what they wanted. It's like, if you're gonna do it, like, do it at the end. Don't give it to us 3 times so we know exactly what's gonna happen.
Or at least change it up at the end. Let's say that he lost it, but then the car.
Because that's what happened in real life. Is they actually
Yeah.
finished fourth, and then the guy in front of them got DQ'd, and they're like, "Oh, you actually made the podium." But then they were just like, "Photo finish, photo finish, photo finish."
It's like they didn't think the average viewer would understand how a disqualification works.
Yeah. But the actual like car stuff was really cool. They went all over the place. They got cool ass helicopter shots and drone shots, like going places, you know, like in and around the crowd and the track, and the actual atmosphere was really cool. Just the writing.
The crashes were great.
The crashes were sick.
I mean, the best car movie is still to this day Mad Max Fury Road.
Yes.
That did have better crashes, but it was cool seeing the Gran Turismo ones because they were all like based on real ones. So the one where he flies at the Nordschleife, which is something that actually happened to the Gran Turismo dude and like kills a spectator. And then there was another one at Le Mans that the Toyota crash where the dude like hits the Ferrari and blows over into the fence.
It was completely exaggerated too, because after that happened, the car caught on fire, and then it looked like the field did an entire lap before the officials.
Yeah, it was just like immediately the entire car was just in flames, and the guy's like crawling out of the wreck, and there's just no safety marshals in sight. It was kind of goofy.
But
They
I would
also-
say that. Yeah, go ahead.
One of my favorite parts is when they show the aerial shot of the Hungaroring, and it just says Silverstone right across the top. It's just like not there.
That's kind of like in Ford versus Ferrari, it's like a Daytona International Speedway, and it's obviously
But-
California.
Auto Club.
But I can like that. I still really love that like Daytona scene, because that's like the rest of it was shot so well that it like I felt it. In the Gran Turismo movie, there's one scene where like maybe I almost felt it, and the rest of it was just kind of like.
But I would say the one good thing about the movie is the actor David Harbour. He's the one that played the coach.
Yeah.
He is the one thing to watch the movie for, because he does a good job.
He did do a
tries.
good job. They like
Yeah.
Karate Kidded it way too much. But he did a good job. And
How did
and they had
Legolas do?
he was like hardly there. And he wasn't at the start. He seemed like a good guy, and then there's one time where he like does something stupid, and then he's just kind of in the background for the rest of the movie. They had a Kaz cameo, which I thought was cute. Where Ben and I were both like, "That's him." He was like a sushi chef in like one shot.
Yeah, he did the whole Marvel thing.
I don't know. It felt like they wrote like a 6-hour movie, shot a 6-hour movie, and then delivered a 2-hour movie that wasn't very good.
But you could see the edit cuts. Like there's a scene in the airplane where they enter the scene, they talk about stuff, and the coach is like, "All right, I'm gonna head out after ordering drinks."
he's like, "Oh, I don't want champagne, I want beer." And then he's like, "All right, I'm going to bed." And then he leaves, and there's just empty beers sitting there. I don't know, like, yeah.
That's what we call blackout.
Rusty knows all
These
about
things
that.
happen.
Sometimes we get shirtless on cam.
Anyway, watch it if you want to see like some cool car shots, but you're gonna have to turn your brain off for most of that
Most
movie.
of it, yeah.
But the actual stuff they did do on track was really cool. I like the collection of like fake GT teams. They had like I think it was a Lamborghini with like UPS branding on it. They had an Audi with like a sick rainbow design. It actually looked really cool. And then that like gold Lamborghini was kind of cute too.
I will say that for a video game company making this movie, that the VFX were off.
Yeah,
in
I did not
some
think I liked
places.
them. I really liked them, honestly. The shots where the dude's in the sim and they like build the car around him and then suddenly he's in the game. Those were cool.
I mean, yeah, that part. But whenever they're going around the track, you could obviously tell that it's a video game or it's too sped up.
I guess so. They
Just
did
didn't look
speed up a
great.
lot of the on-track stuff. I don't know. Cool movie, I guess. We'll forget about it next year.
Yep.
So, do any of us need to watch this, or anybody
No.
listening to the show?
No.
Not really. It's a good one to watch on streaming platforms when you don't pay for it. It's not a good theater movie. Like, really not a good theater movie.
You would think that the sound design would be great, but it wasn't really.
Yeah. It wasn't amazing. All right, we're putting Slap to sleep. So let's talk about more boring video game stuff. They dropped the trailer for EA Rally video game. Since EA bought Codemasters, they're now sort of building Dirt Rally into like a WRC licensed thing. They got the license from those other bastards that made that shit game that I got for free.
Sweet.
So I'm not gonna like jump through the whole thing, but it looks pretty cool. It just looks like Dirt Rally but with modern cars.
Oh, I'm gonna come.
And they also have a bunch of the old cars. So I think they said there's gonna be like 85 cars on launch, and then they're gonna add more. And it looks really good. That's real life. That's the video game. And they kind of cut back and forth in the trailer, which is like whatever. But it looks like it's just going to be a, you know, good rally game with official stuff in it, which it also says like racing but rally, which I think
That's
is probably
terrible.
one of the worst taglines I've ever
That's terrible.
seen.
Sounds like a Doge catchphrase or something.
Yeah.
I was about to pre-order until they dropped that tagline. Like,
I will say something cute that I saw is on the I think I'm gonna get this correct. On the Xbox cover, they have the Toyota rally car, and then on the PlayStation one, they have the Hyundai, and on the PC one, they have the Ford. Like each of the three big manufacturers gets like their own cover, and then the covers are independent per platform. Anyway,
This
looks
is
cool.
EA, so don't buy it until you watch the reviews.
I'm
Yeah.
buying it day one.
Yeah, but like if
It's
it's
all fun and games until there's a Rally Ultima team.
if it's built on the Dirt Rally like
it's all funny
base,
games till the game launches and it asks for your pronouns.
Jesus
That's-
Christ. All Dirt Rally needed was like a good career mode, and it's never had that. So if they can just do that, tie in all the different levels of cars that they have with the WRC, I think it'll be a banger. And they're gonna have all of the official WRC venues except for one, which they're adding in later in the year, I think, because they're working on it still. But pretty cool. Also, there's a new iRacing update dropping tomorrow. A bunch of random stuff. Xfinity cars finally get new damage model, so maybe they'll be usable.
GTA has a pretty sick weekly update this week.
Oh,
The nightclub safes get you 3 times money.
I
So
did
every-
notice that.
So every 40 minutes here in the game, you get 150k.
But
then
they still haven't dropped the Trans Am Pinty's car. They teased that like I think early June. It's been 3 months. But I get it. They're working on a new game.
And the nightclub cell missions are
Yeah.
double money. So I just did like a 3-minute cell mission earlier, and I got like $2.8 million. It's
Mm.
like, ooh. It was
Mm.
a nice chunk of change.
I do have one more note I want to bring up on the media check-in, just on a slightly different direction, because I went on like another YouTube hole today where I started watching like cannonball videos where the guys, you know, go across the country at 160 miles an hour or whatever.
Yes.
And I found a new niche. It's like a group of guys in New York City who all like made a bunch of money like on the stock market in the last few years and bought like nice cars. So this guy drives like a Porsche Cayman, and they just street race every night and film it all and put it on YouTube. And it's them just like weaving in and out of traffic, and they have compilations of them like running from cops just
Holy
on
shit.
YouTube. And I was just watching this going like, this is real. Like they actually do this. And it was just blowing my mind. And all of their like channel descriptions are like, everything here was made with Unreal Engine 5. We're VFX artists just to try and like cover their asses. Because I mean, this guy has 280,000 subscribers. So I'm sure he's making a good amount of money from like literally street racing and running from the police. So this is a video. This is every time I ran from the cops too.
He said this is like Unreal Engine and virtual effects.
Yeah, and it's just actual dash cams of like cops pulling up behind him, and I'm sure they recognize his Cayman by now. And it's just him fucking like running, like literally running red lights, like weaving through traffic, going all over the place with cops on his ass.
Is that one in front of him?
No, it's behind him.
No, that was like a taxi.
Oh, okay.
And it's just insane. Like, this is real. And, you know, I probably shouldn't be glorifying this, but I just think it's crazy that, like, this is a thing that you can just watch on the internet. I mean, I know there's much worse things you can watch on the internet, but
I was gonna say,
he's
if you
making
think this
money
is crazy,
from it.
don't ever go on Reddit.
But this is like just on YouTube, and
dudes just committing crimes.
Yeah, and it's sick. Like,
And
it's
getting
really cool.
Ad revenue for it.
Yeah, and there's like a whole bunch of them, and they're all like on radios together talking to each other. This part where he puts up the like rear view mirror like really makes it feel like a video game. You just see the lights flashing.
I want to see the final video he does where he gets pit maneuvered at 40 miles an hour and fucking flips 20 times.
That's the thing, is this is only, he even puts his speed on the screen. It's only a matter of time until
before they catch him,
he kills a pedestrian or flips his car.
Or they finally spike strip his ass at a fucking 130 miles an hour, and it ends like that one video that I showed you where he goes skidding into a truck.
That's why they do it in New York City, because it's just impossible to do anything there, and the cops have so many bigger things to worry about than like a Porsche speeding.
Wait, do they not have his license plate, or is he using like fake plates?
He probably covers it or has fake ones on.
He's got like the James Bond thing where you hit a button and it like flips, like it like reverse, so you like have a fake decoy one.
Just this bit with the rear view mirror, and you can see the cops like lights flashing in the distance, is just so like, I want to play this in a video game. Like, I want this to be Need for Speed.
Hopefully
Anyway.
the next Grand Theft Auto or the Gran Turismo.
You're glorifying reckless driving drive-through. How dare you?
Yeah, I know, I shouldn't.
Cops
Like, obviously
avoided.
don't do this, and this will probably hurt someone, but it's just crazy that we can watch it, and it's like really
It's like that compilation of
cool.
Japanese street drifters from like the late 90s, early 2000s that I found.
But that's so much cooler, because in Japan they just kind of like go up the mountains and drift, and like they do it when there's like no one around, versus this guy who's like actively weaving in and out of traffic. Yeah, and he
Cops hate this one simple trick.
He will literally like do it in like Manhattan too, where there's just people everywhere. It's not good. But damn.
Well, the problem is, like, once this dude finally gets caught, like, he's going to jail for a long time.
Yeah, does he have another video almost every time I killed a pedestrian?
Because now it's like extremely well documented, and like, hey, you ran from
evidence on
you ran from the police 18 times. That's 18 counts of resisting arrest, evading police.
Oh, you got your speedometer on here. We can see how fast you're going.
Cody, he does have best runs and close calls of 2022, which includes some footage shot by like a passenger in his car when they're like just ripping it on whatever freeway this is. It's kind of
as someone that frequents through Chicago and sees plenty of these dipshits firsthand, I can only hope it ends in their I can only hope it ends in their long-term arrests before it ends
Gulag. Send them to the gulag.
Before it ends in the deaths of any innocent people.
It's only a matter of time. And
well,
and
these
this
guys
channel
made like millions of dollars on Wall Street, so they obviously don't give a shit about their fellow man.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh my God.
And he cut the camera out for some reason.
I'm not. Yeah. Anyway, it's just if you
Was
want to
that,
watch
like, the most viewed part on the scrubber.
Oh my.
yeah, that's how I
God.
found it.
Is that why you went there? Okay.
If you want to watch a train wreck, this is a YouTube channel. It's
Oh, I thought you were gonna.
oh
pull an
my
actual
god! All right,
train
I'm pulling up
crash.
one more clip. Hold on. I clicked on the other one that has like a huge spike in the view counter. They've got what, a BMW, a C63, and then this guy in a Cayman. And his Camry rolls up.
What was the Camry doing?
I don't know.
Dumb.
Look at the rear view. Was it like a undercover cop or something?
No, he just
I don't know
panicked,
what
I
he's
think.
doing.
He was just trying to catch the other guys racing, just didn't realize all the stop.
Yeah, but he's not one of them.
I'm sure he is.
Maybe he is.
In a Camry?
Why? People try to street race whatever the fuck they can. These little kids.
They
that
left
played-
his ass back there too.
These are all
Damn.
kids that played too much Need for Speed growing up, and now they're just trying to fulfill their childhood
Boomer
dreams.
Cody.
Oh, we got a view from one of the other cars.
Alright.
God damn.
All right. Okay.
Okay. Anyway, I hope they don't flag me, but that shit's kind of crazy.
Yeah, this podcast is getting shut down. This
I like
podcast
blur
gets sent
it.
to the gulag.
I mean, if they can, I don't even think this is like age restricted. And they're like selling merch and shit too. Nuts. I can't believe that's real. Anyway, that's my part of the media check-in. Anyone else watched anything interesting?
Nope.
I mean, I was gonna have like an hour-long Fallout New Vegas bit, but we'll save it for next week.
No, do it now. Shut up.
Yeah, that'll bring
It's
you right back
fresh.
to life. Do it.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll keep it short and sweet. So
No,
basically,
you won't.
I was a bit of a hater, you know. But I've recently been converted. We've been streaming Fallout New Vegas.
Didn't we talk about this on the Outlap? Where you said you played through the first like 40 minutes of Fallout New Vegas and wanted to die?
Yes, that is true. That is
Oh
true.
my god.
So
that was
we
like
have
4 years
returned.
ago.
We have returned 10 years later. And I am now a follower of the Legion flag. All hail Caesar. Fallout New Vegas is one of the greatest video games of all time. But
No, he's Legion. He's Legion. Ban him.
It's Legion for life. I tried to be independent. I tried to play peace on all sides. I tried to be like a pacifist. I tried to be somebody that's trying to help everybody in the wasteland. But
Rusty.
the rope slap.
Rusty, let me explain to you. You are the reason why there are people in this world who believe the stupidest horseshit imaginable. They put up a fucking group of people crucifying everybody that they see around them. They put
Degenerates. Degenerates. They're all degenerates.
We are the bad guys. We are LARPing as a Roman legion. We are fucking stupid. And then you're like, these guys actually have a point. No, they don't. The purpose of the game is they don't have a point. There's only one bad side, and you chose it, you fucking moron.
Am I supposed to apologize that you're welcoming in the robot overlords and AI completely infiltrating the entire system in all of society?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Dude, your team, yes, man. Like,
Mr. House is like one step above the Legion. This fucking
Mr. House is
self-aggrandizing libertarian piece of shit gonna try to take over the goddamn world and send people to the moon. And he's one step above the Legion. Okay, yeah, I fucking killed his ass too. And I looked at the NCR and I said, okay, you guys might have a point, but you're fucking stupid and you're bloated. Go back to California.
for the people taking notes at home, Slap took sides with the government and not with the independent free folk.
I told the NCR to go home. Hey, because of my leadership, New Vegas is an independent city-state.
But how long is that going to last?
I brought the boomers together. I brought all the lost tribes of Vegas into one house. We rule as one. No gods, no masters, and fuck the Legion. The best thing I ever did in New Vegas is after One for My Baby, I took Boone and I said, hey, get in this boat. We're going across the Colorado River. We're going to kill fucking Caesar where he sleeps and every filthy legionnaire we can find.
They
Talking
two
about
protect-
the Legion like they're you're treating the Legion no.
Pain nor mercy. They deserve to burn in the deepest depths of hell, and I will send them there myself.
I love how the loud words don't come through because he just gets noise.
Joshua Graham is right. He had a point. He survived because the fire within him was burned brighter than the fires around him. We will march out of the Grand Canyon and we will kill every Legionnaire we find from here to Arizona.
You're right. That woke him right up.
It did.
He's just mad.
Maybe
There's
woke
only
up
one
too much in
faction
him.
that had a purpose and a point in the entire wasteland. Everybody else is just.
We want to know why the Legion doesn't have any raiders in their controlled areas, because they are the raiders. They're the bad guys. You're just a patsy. You're just a patsy. I returned the Hoover Dam to its rightful owners, the good people of New Vegas. You gave it to some filthy Easterners.
No, you have no purpose or structure in your life. You're a degenerate, and that's why you side with Vegas.
I side with Vegas because it survived the nuclear holocaust, you stupid.
Under AI and robot rule.
We will drink, we will have sex, we will have massive orgies, and we'll fucking like it. Enjoy being a fucking disgusting, stinky Legionnaire.
All right.
Have fun decimating your own tribe every 6 moons or whatever.
For 6 moons.
This is deep lore. You gotta play New Vegas. You gotta play New Vegas.
Jesus Christ. That makes me want to play it.
Apparently, yeah.
There's only one wrong answer, and it is Legion.
No. We marched down the dam with the help of the boomers. We took down the government. We are ruling the wasteland.
Yeah, what happened to the boomers afterwards? Oh yeah, the Legion killed all of them.
I need to make a scene that's just like a battle cam with Slap's face on one side and Rusty's face on the other. I'll work on that.
We should get like
all right, well,
cam.
Now that you're awake, do you want to talk about some crazy ass moment in history?
Yeah, let's talk about the burning of Nipton.
It's time.
I'll hit the button on that.
Crazy ass
That's the most serious I've ever seen.
history.
To that look he gave right after. Yeah, this is battle Nipton.
This is actually like a very serious topic, by the way. We're changing
This is a real
gears
downer.
hardcore.
This is a real downer.
This
after
is
that
perfect for Rusty then.
Yeah, let's see,
Rusty, try not to laugh.
let's see how many cackles we get out of Rusty.
Yeah, how many cackles are we gonna get out of Rusty? I'm vote at least 5.
Add the cackle count.
All right,
I'm pretty
there's
sure this
one.
is like actual genocide that we're talking about today.
All right, there's 2.
you gotta like prep me for it. Like if it's
We just did.
Now do you see why he joined the Legion? He thinks crucifying innocents is funny.
they're all degenerates. They gotta go.
Jesus Christ.
All right, when you killed the powder gangers, that was fine because nobody cares about them. They're all a bunch of filthy
Facts.
criminals anyway.
Facts. I did that 5 minutes into the game.
I saw that. I remember that.
But I didn't need the Legion to do that because I marched straight into the powder ganger camp and I killed all of them myself. I
love
don't
you, Slap.
need them.
Rusty
I
hit them
love
all
it.
with a
Anyway.
shovel.
Anyway,
It's true.
back in the real world and not the fictional world of 2077.
Oh, fuck.
The French National Police Force is perhaps probably one of the most notorious police forces in all of Western Europe because they probably have the worst problem with police brutality of any country in Western Europe. And you can actually trace this back to 1941. During this time, when the Nazis took over France after the Battle of France, they couldn't really occupy France because they had to go turn around and go take over Eastern Europe. So they couldn't really leave a whole lot of troops around, so they got the French police to do their dirty work.
The gendarmerie.
Yeah. And during this time, there was a guy by the name of Maurice Papin, and he was basically a bureaucrat who worked with the police before the invasion. Afterwards, he gets a job with the SS to round up all the Jews in France. The way the surrender documents were signed, he couldn't really deport a French person to Germany. But there were lots of undocumented people who were not French, who were living in France, who were Jews. Because even before World War II kicked off, there was a lot of refugees that ended up in France. Well, it was his job to round them all up and send them into Germany so they could be sent to concentration camps. When the Nazis look like they're about to lose, he basically forges some documents to make it look like he was part of the resistance. Denies ever having any part of this sort of thing he was doing with the Nazis, being a collaborator, and lives his life as he says he was a bureaucrat who did what he could under the worst circumstances, and basically throws off the uniform and pretends to be someone else almost entirely. Fast forward to the 1950s, he becomes a police commissioner in Paris. A lot of those same police officers he's in charge of were the collaborators who rounded up Jews back during World War II. So the French police at this point have a very sordid history of basically turning on their own people. Fast forward to the late 1950s, Algeria is basically trying to gain independence from France because it was a colony of France. Technically, I mean, the French denied it was a colony. The French they basically said it was part of France. It was.
Cat is hating this right now.
I know. Can I go get the cat? Can I get the cat? I think she's trapped somewhere.
Sure.
Wow.
Are we hearing that from like the other
roommate's
floor?
She's like in the wall. Climbed in through a heating vent.
I think she's trapped somewhere.
This crazy ass moment of Slap's history brought to you by his cat.
Yeah, this is a weird one to get interrupted. Oh, back.
Cat was hungry.
Ah, that's it.
Of course.
Said no food. No food.
Was it Shrimpidus? Which one was it?
This is Marley. Scrumbus.
Scrumbus.
So anyway, Algeria is technically part of France. It's not a colony. The French refused to call it a colony. But if you were from Algeria, even though on paper you had all the same rights as a French person, in practice you had no real rights. You were a second-class citizen, third-class, whatever you want to call it. You couldn't vote. You could be harassed by the police for no reason whatsoever just because you didn't look like you were meant to be there. And so the Algerian independence movement kicks off, and at first it's a bunch of peaceful protests and stuff. Those get broken up by the French police. Eventually, the Algerian independence movement moves on to targeted assassinations of police officers.
Damn.
And while this is going on, Poupin is sent to Algeria during the Algerian War to basically bring order to that area, and he uses all the same tactics he learned from the Waffen SS. Torture chambers, a whole torture network, rounding up people. He even instituted the old Nazi rule during the resistance: for every one of our soldiers killed, kill 10 people in retaliation. Doesn't matter who they were, doesn't matter if they were involved or not. For every one of our guys that falls, kill 10 of theirs. It was basically ripped straight from the Nazi playbook. So after the Algerian War is pretty much looks like it's lost, he gets sent back to Paris, and he becomes the commissioner for the French National Police, which are mostly based out of France.
Yeah.
And he's mostly based out of Paris. My bad. Yeah. Nice catch, nice save. And he institutes a whole bunch of rules that basically are black codes where if you were Algerian, you weren't allowed to be out after sunset. You weren't allowed to go to theaters. And the way it was written It was, we suggest you don't go out after sunset. We suggest you don't go to theaters, because they couldn't tell these people based upon their ethnicity what they could and couldn't do. I mean, France was a republic. You're not allowed to do that. And, free and equal treatment under the law is, written down in the Constitution. But the police used this as a pretext for harassing Algerians, throwing them into camps and stuff. And all this led to one night in 1960 when there was an Algerian independence movement march that was planned, and the Pupin knew this was going to happen and gets about 7,000 French national police officers to go in, round up every single Algerian they can find. He had rented out warehouses and theaters where he could house these people, where they were tortured. And one particularly gruesome scene was over a bridge looking over the Seine River, where they took about 300 Algerians, broke their arms and legs, and then threw them into the river.
Jesus.
And a week later, there was some graffiti written on the bridge. DT, you speak French. I can't pronounce this, but the English translation of this is the place where we drown Algerians.
Yeah.
Jesus.
On noie les Algériens.
Yeah, so that bridge is still there, and every once in a while there will be some graffiti that pops up where that's written. It basically became an Algerian motto of defiance. And after this happened, you talk about the Paris massacre of 1961. Most people in most places, even in France, won't know what you're fucking talking about, because it was completely covered up immediately. The New York Times wrote about it the day after. They said, oh, there were some scuffles, a riot broke out or whatever. The total body count is estimated to be around 500. The only way that we know that it was at least that many was there was an epidemic of people jumping off of bridges and committing suicide by jumping off of bridges of bodies that washed up downstream, and rural police officers would find these bodies, and then the national police would come in and cover it up. There was, and the thing was, the French would go in, the national police would go in, round up all these Algerians, take their papers away from them, and then would execute them. And to this day, we don't know who these people were. Because they were second-class citizens, their documentation was already sort of an afterthought by the French authorities. And when they took their papers away and their identification cards that they might have had on them at the time, there was no way to identify them. They didn't go to dentists or anything like that. A lot of the French dentists wouldn't see them, so we don't have dental records. We can't identify them that way. It was just, there was an awful lot of people who just never came home, or ended up,
That is a heck of
death
a
by
photo.
suicide or whatever. So this was like completely covered up. Pupin would have a very illustrious career as a police commissioner who could get things done and bring peace and honor to societies, and he would eventually retire in the early 80s. But by 1994, it came out that he had forged his French resistance papers. They launch an investigation in 1997. He gets brought to trial and faces life imprisonment. In 1999, he's found guilty of being a collaborator. Part of the post-World War II years was the French introduced a number of laws that said if you were a collaborator, we could open an investigation against you and we could throw you in jail. And eventually, Pupin gets sentenced to life in prison. He's released in 2002 due to health reasons, and he dies in 2007. But to this day, after the Paris massacre, not a single person ever saw the inside of a jail cell for that event. It was widely brushed under the rug. Most major news sources never spoke of it. And to this day, most people think of massacres. Those happen in Eastern Europe, World War II, Cambodia and Vietnam and all these war-torn countries, and that doesn't happen here in the West. Well, here in modern times in the West, it happened, and it was a very thorough cover up, and it was obvious that this was not just a sudden orgy of violence, but a pre-planned, basically ethnic cleansing.
And there's still like a lot of racism in France.
Yeah. And another interesting thing is Greece had a notoriously brutal police force that would sometimes just beat people to death for no reason whatsoever. And if you look at the highest levels of police brutality in Europe, all of them were under Nazi occupation during World War II. They learned that from the Nazis, and those institutions remained in place even after the war. And the things that those police officers did and learned from the SS got passed down. There's policing tactics got passed down. So if you look at levels of police brutality per capita, it basically looks like a map of occupied territories by the Nazis in the 1940s.
Damn.
So this is something that we will not shrug off for probably another century or two.
Damn.
Sorry to be a downer. Can we go back to talking about the Legion?
I was gonna say, you wanted to get like hyped up for that? Like come on.
I forgot we were doing the crazy ass moment.
Well, you forgot. Do you want to talk about Fatima Bedar?
Yeah, that was one of the few people who had any identification on her. And she was, I think, 14 years old at the time. They found her in this Sins River, both arms, both legs broken.
Damn.
She'd actually kept her identification on her. She slipped it, I think, inside of a belt or something like that, and the police didn't find it. So when she washed up ashore, people were able to realize just how thorough the whole massacre was.
Damn. All right.
There's another cackle.
That's France.
Well,
Rusty, thanks for making it through that.
I'm just laughing at like, how do you transition?
Yeah. Bit of a roller coaster, this podcast. We've gone up and down. But these things happen. You know how we transition? We play a song. We play our favorite song. Is that second one a lion?
Fuck the French.
I think, Jesus Christ, you can't say that. I think it goes, fuck the French police, you can't say. I think it went like sheep, lion, horse. I don't know. Someone keep track.
I don't even remember when.
There's definitely a turkey at the end.
No, you need to look at the source codes.
Animal Planet for this week. We got a lot of shrimps in a lot of places. I think the only
CTMP we didn't really have any animals. The only thing I would say is animalistic is that there's only 3 showers at the racetrack, and
that's just standard.
They were pretty much freed up anytime that we were in the track.
Well,
it's
we picked a good time to shower though.
3 showers for the entire track.
Yeah, but everyone has RVs.
Half of the people have RVs.
Bastards stuck in a tent. We did pick a really damn good time to shower though. It was after we were watching the Pitties race and it was all hot, and then there's a red flag in the touring car race, and we just hopped in the shower.
Showered during a red flag.
Yeah,
that's actually kind of based. I was thinking about that during like NASCAR, like during a stage break, you can like shower, shave, mow the lawn, like you can do everything.
Oh, you remember in 2021 there was that caution right before a stage break at Road America? And I swear to God, they were under caution for like 30 minutes.
Oh
dude. Road America yells are an hour.
Yeah, they take forever.
Well, they actually drink and get rehydrated for the next start.
They were pretty quick at CTMP, apart from when the guys would punch a hole in the wall from hitting it so hard. But these things happen.
And/or hit the pit wall.
Need to invest in some styrofoam.
The only other animals I have to report, I think, are the weirdo right-wing Canadians, because obviously there's a lot of those at the racetrack.
Yeah.
And they've just latched onto this like this fuck Trudeau thing where that's just like their whole personality now. And I get it, like everyone hates the guy, like the left don't like him and the right don't like him. Yeah, so they just have flags. We saw probably what 5 or 6 flags like track side,
all on track side, yeah,
that just say like fuck Trudeau, and there's just like I don't want to be a Karen, but there's like kids around, like it's just not a flex to put up these flags. It's just weird.
They're just doing their worst impression of the right wing in America.
Yeah, they just wanted their own "Let's Go Brandon," but they couldn't. They couldn't figure out an artsy way to do it, so they just were more direct because
But at least that doesn't have a fucking F-bomb in it. Like, I don't know, just all these white dads with their kids being like, "Yeah, fuck Trudeau." It's like, okay, who cares?
Fuck Trudeau! Don't you dare indoctrinate my kid.
But other than that, it was
private health care.
It was pretty tame. No one put a firecracker in the fire pit this year. There was one bastard who like set up his trailer on the far end of like the far field where people go to not be bothered. And he put his trailer way out there and had the brightest lights and the loudest music on the last night.
It looked like he had a DJ going on because the whole trees behind it was just fully lit.
Which, like, if you do that,
the music out
go to the hill where it's like loud and rowdy. Don't go to the quiet corner where people are trying to mind their own business and then just blast them. But we went to my usual spot and it was a banger as always. We had tons of space and we weren't far from like anything.
Tons of great food, tons of good camping, and
dude, new meta courtesy of Ben. Salmon at the racetrack. You get like one of those like pre-prepared little things of salmon, put it on the cast iron pan.
Like a salmon steak?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you get like the pre-seasoned ones.
I can make some salmon at the hibachi.
Salmon was good. The pork chops were really good.
Yeah.
Dude, they had these fucking like pork steaks at Oswego. Dude, that shit was tender. It had like this grizzle on it. That was it was like a pork ribeye. It was like the best thing I've ever eaten.
Yeah, that was like the Iowa pork chops. Yeah, on a grill, those are great. And we just had the usual fucking like bacon, egg breakfast, dogs, burgers.
Also, shouts out to the Hoffman hot dog over at Oswego. little brat they got. Fucking $4, all the relish and fancy mustard you want to put on there. I had like 10 of those bastards.
We also I don't think we bought food at the track at all. Like we just had the perfect amount of food for the weekend.
The only thing that we bought would be coffees. Like in the morning, I would walk over
it was
nice
great.
restrooms.
Dude, I slept 9 hours one of the nights, and I woke up at like 10 a.m. and Ben, came back and he's like, "Oh, I brought a coffee for you." I was like, "Oh wow, thanks, Ben."
Dude, I gotta say, one of the coolest things about camping at a racetrack is going to like whatever like the restaurant concession stand is, and they got like a breakfast menu. Dude.
Oh yeah, like at Road America they had that.
Yeah,
dude.
they give you
the fucking best
fat bowl of like tons of shit. Like, dude, it's so good.
They got a banger breakfast menu at Eldora, which I will be at this upcoming weekend for the World 100, baby.
I didn't see a big breakfast menu. I saw like stuff wrapped up, like cinnamon buns and all that, but I didn't see anything like big track food.
Like Watkins Glen has Watkins Glen, they have like food trucks all over the place. But there's no like actual concession stand. There's just like food trucks like here and there. And like when I was in Milwaukee, we stopped by that diner. It had the hangover cure, which is just like fried potatoes and scrambled eggs and peppers and sausage and like a little bit of gravy in there. And at Watkins Glen, there was some food truck. They had almost the exact same thing.
Hell yeah.
God, it's so fucking good. Because when I went to Watkins Glen, like 2018, I got fucked up on box wine, dude. I had a terrible hangover.
Trouble.
And it was hot. It was like 85 degrees, and I needed that shit so bad. Some greasy food to finally, come back to life.
I do love the feeling of just being like at the track in the morning and the only people there are all the campers, all the crazies.
The degenerate losers from the wasteland that support the government. Like
We also
Rusty.
I was
Losers
trying to
like
get
you
slapped
belong
one
on
more
a
time.
cross.
we got a track walk in too, which is great.
Yes.
Which I mean, I compare it a lot to Road America because I've had the experience of camping there. It's the only other racetrack I've camped at, and it's just so different at CTMP to where like, first of all, you're not piled in there side by side in these tiny little sites that like can't fit your party. We just had space for days, just tons of open fields. But also that like you can just walk the track. Like as soon as racing's done, like people just hop the fence and they're like throwing footballs on the track, riding tons of people on bikes. First time I've ever
Tons
seen
of them on electric bikes.
Yeah, first time I've ever seen e-bikes at CTMP. There's a bunch of people that brought their freaking e-bikes. Makes me want to bring my bike and just bike the track. But we had a good walk-in and it was a good time. Best way to see a racetrack. I was just
crazy,
amazed.
The elevation there. Like you don't, when you race on iRacing, you just don't know like the elevation and all that. But once you see how far down the turn that
How big was the jump? I need to know.
Dude, it's steep. It's hard to walk up.
Yeah.
Imagine
But
going full throttle off that thing.
For me, it reminded me like a bigger mid-Ohio. Like it just had that feel of like you go from the city and then you're out in the middle of fucking nowhere and then there's the track. And then you just go into it. Camping's the same way as mid-Ohio. You just pretty much pick a spot. You're good to go. And yeah, I would say the animals would be the Toronto drivers. It's like DC
They weren't
traffic.
that bad.
No, there's a couple of those
For
from
some
that
weavers.
video.
Yeah. But not as bad as Chicago.
I would say the best way to describe it is DC traffic with Ohio drivers.
But
That
like
is what Toronto traffic is.
You also didn't get like the full Toronto experience. You just basically drove on the 401 and the Allen Road and that was it.
Pretty much, yeah.
I would love to like show you around downtown one night. Because it's totally different. But you're not going to want to do that in a car.
No, not in a car.
But yeah, tons of just backed up 401.
Also, Animals fucking Peace Bridge getting back from Canada to America is a fucking shit show. On the Canada side, it's like all organized. You cross the bridge, say, hi, this is where I'm going. This is how long I'm going to be. They pass you on. Getting back to the American side.
Dude, they're always hard asses.
All animals, all New York plates just fucking trying to pile into this one lane that you have on the Peace Bridge, go slowly across for 40 minutes. And then everyone spreads the fuck out and everyone's weaving and waving, trying to get to the shortest lane possible to finally get to the Border Patrol. It's just, that was the animals. That was crazy. The stupid New Yorkers thinking it was New York City traffic. That was my Animal Planet.
Cody, where the hell were you this week? You go anywhere?
I did a 2-day swing down in Illinois, Friday, Saturday. Nothing of any particular note. It's kind of on a sketchy platform on Saturday night. I felt like I was gonna die climbing up and down every time I was on there, but I am going. Yeah, like I said earlier, I'm going back to the site of the peeing and spitting capital of the dirt track world, Eldora, for the World 100.
You gotta put a tarp over your car when you park up Eldora.
I'm just gonna put a sign like in my windshield, please don't spit or pee on me. Thank you.
Oh, there's gonna be tons of it now.
Tons.
Yeah.
That passive aggressive.
Like when you ask for
Please cook
crispy
this
bacon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask for the bacon extra floppy next time.
I want to know what the
give it to
ammonia
me.
content is of the soil at Eldora. It's got to be high. I bet when they have like no racing going on there for like months at a time, there's like no grass grows there.
No grass grows at Eldora.
That's why the
Acidic
Anderson
soil.
bathroom is just rocks and debris.
Acidic Eldora soil. Ooh. Yeah. So
Can we talk actually real quick that this is kind of an Animal Planet extra. That Dale Jr. was talking about how great the Florence Speedway bathrooms were.
Yeah, so I posted these when I went to Florence back in late March, early April. I think I posted a picture where it was like they just had like flimsy like plywood up there, but they've actually like
we talked about it on the show. I remember.
Yeah, they finished it.
And it's
nice.
like it's just nice.
I feel like it's just a nice floor and sink, but the plywood still exists.
Yeah, but it looks like nice the way they did it. Like they even have like the little top bar on the thing. Like
for dirt tracks, that's a fucking palace, right?
Dude, they have dividers, dude. Look at that. That's crazy.
That's one thing I love about Oswego. They have dividers on the urinals.
I'm just interested in how long that will last. Like, that wood's going to get all putrid and shit in like a year or two.
It looks like they stained
all
it.
the ammonia from the piss.
Oh yeah.
Some guy from Daytona is gonna try to climb over the thing and bounce his head off the divider and break it off.
Let me go back to that picture real quick. I want to look at something. Okay, so there's definitely going to be a dude who's going to be standing at the urinal. He's going to be about half passed out. He's going to put his forehead up against the wall and try to balance himself. So he's got enough of a real estate to do that, but he will wobble and he will take out one of the dividers.
These things happen.
He's going to collapse like into the dude next to him while the dude's peeing.
We're going to need to this like a year from now, just to see what the situation is.
Well, we got shrimps in the area. We'll do regular check-ins.
It's only 2.5 hours from my house. I can be there.
Blake's there all the time too.
So here's the problem with the setup. You can't just spray it down. So this thing is going to be a fucking disaster piece in like 6 months.
I would say if they just painted the wood white, that would make it look nice, but that would also show every fucking stain that would show up on it afterwards.
People are going to pee on the wood walls, the wood dividers.
Does it have like a clear coat like sealer on it?
It looks like it's been stained. I think they treated it.
I
think they know what they're doing. All right.
I think it's treated.
Speaking of spraying down, I also want to talk about the CTMP like porta potty situation, which I think I have in the past. Because at Road America, they give us a line of like 14 porta potties, and they just kind of leave them for the weekend. They're just like, go ahead, figure it out. Like I think
halfway through the shitter truck comes by and it sucks out all the shit and gives you the blue water.
Good.
The fresh blue water, yeah.
At CTMP, instead of that, they just have 2 of them. But they clean them like 4 times a day. They come in here, they suck all the stuff out, and they spray it down, and they refill all the toilet paper.
How long is the line for those porta potties? Like
Never had to wait, not a single time.
Again,
not race day.
That was like in our little zone.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's like little pairs in each like little camping zone.
That makes sense. All right.
No, those are home section, and it was right next to like a huge setup of fucking RVs. They all got their own toilets.
I'm buying a camper sometime in the next year.
Dude, someone on the hill had the Starlink up, and they were watching on Sunday. They had the big screen up, and they were watching Darlington.
Yeah, it was sick. And they had like 3 trailers, like kind of all like next to each other, and like a big fire pit in the middle, and tons of dudes, tons of chairs, and they put the big screen up and had the race going. There's some serious setups. Any animalistic things to report from Oswego, Slap?
No, everybody seemed to be on their best behavior.
All right, glad to hear.
Except for that one group of people from Indiana who were like a little bit crazy.
All right, not to Indiana. Caleb,
they were like in the parking lot just fucking drinking all day, and then after the race, just drinking.
Based. Caleb is at a concert tonight, and he's written in mid-show Animal Planet. He says, this guy 1 row in front of me at this concert being drunk and spitting his dip into a clear cup and missing half the shot, so it's going straight on the floor.
Oh.
Hashtag
Shout out to Tennessee.
Just Tennessee things.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get my skull on you. My bad.
Animal Planet also, fucking Greenville Spartanburg International Airport, usually super chill, super laid back, especially when I got an early flight like 6 a.m. I get there at 4:30 a.m. I'm probably going to be sitting, I'm probably going to be like standing in the terminal for like an hour waiting for this flight. No, every motherfucker in Greenville County was there. The TSA line went all the way to the wall and then down the escalator.
Oh no.
There had to be dozens of people who missed their flight because of that, because it was Friday before Labor Day weekend. I got through the line and got to my flight like 15 minutes before they shut the gate.
Ooh.
The Home Alone music was playing as you're running through the airport.
Yeah, I'm asking Donald Trump for directions, and he's like, "Go down the hall to the left."
Dude, that's scary. Nothing's more scary than like getting to a big ass
because you know
line and
TSA
being
is
like, I might not make it.
Because TSA is TSA. You know, they're not gonna speed it up. You know, they don't give a shit.
Care.
Yeah, they gotta get a picture of everyone's dick.
Yeah,
Like
they're getting paid by the hour, not by the person.
They still make you take your shoes off in the U.S., which is crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, here's the other
Shoes
fucking
off, belts off.
Make you take your
here's the other
underwear
thing.
off
You don't have
as
to take your
well.
belts off anymore.
Oh,
You don't have to take your belts off anymore. You still have to take your shoes off.
It depends on the place.
You can't wear a hoodie or a jacket anymore. You have to take that off now.
Depends on the place.
Apparently, I can hide a knife underneath a hoodie, but not behind a belt.
Or in your shoe.
I think they just don't want to pat you down because of the loose areas in like the cancer-giving tube of death.
Tube of Death is pretty cool. There's one point where
also
they
in Syracuse, the Syracuse International Airport,
Yeah.
they don't have a tube of death. You just go through a metal detector.
Yeah.
dude, they flagged me once at the Tube of Death where you have to like put your hands up and they do the thing. Now like, what do you got over there? And I was like, what do you mean? And like, oh, you're just sweaty. And I was like, oh, all right, damn. But I guess I set off the machine.
We're gonna have to bury that T-shirt.
Sir. Also, if you're wearing like compression socks or something, because they have like little like bands in there that are meant to like scrunch down, I guess there's like a metal filament or something in there. It was setting off the Tube of Death at Greenville like over and over, and finally they're like, "Take your socks off." So I walked through there barefoot, and then I was fine.
Dogs out.
So what's that concealed object on there? Oh, sorry, that's just my shrimp.
No, that won't be detected. All right, I'm hitting the button. It's time for fan mail. Send them in.
Send in your fucking mail.
Send in your shrimps, guys.
Don't.
Please
No.
don't.
Send them in, guys.
Wash your fucking hands, slap. I don't give a fuck, man. You better send in those emails at this
I
point.
just want you to know,
get,
Slap,
Ellie.
I'm torturing her out of vengeance for you.
She's gonna swipe you.
What a hole in your.
I'm hoping.
Fingers.
Oh, she's.
I'm hoping this
Retribution.
happens live on cam, like straight for the throat.
She just slashes my jugular. I just bleed out on it.
Jesus Christ.
Call the Milwaukee Police Department.
If you've had your jugular slashed by a cat, send us an email. ShrimpHoursPresents@gmail.com. Or if you have anything else interesting or, questions. I don't think people ask us questions anymore. But send it to ShrimpHoursPresents@gmail.com and we'll read it on the show. We have 8 emails to go through today.
Oh,
Jeez,
damn.
I'm going to bed.
But a lot of them are really short.
Another 3-hour podcast.
There's a lot of real short ones. Mr. Ass says,
Favorite Transformers question.
he says, 1 week, no Bowman Gray. I'm losing my mind. I'm going to Bristol though, so that's nice.
Hell yeah.
Based.
Hell yeah.
Luke writes in, he says, hi Shrimps, first time writing. Just wanted to ask all of you your favorite driver, current and all time.
All time Jeff Gordon favorite currently. I'm gonna have to think on that.
Currently, I'm a Blaney guy. All time, I do not know. I as a child was a Jimmy Johnson fan, but as an adult, I'm not learned.
Slap's getting something Mark Martin related.
Yeah, I wonder who Slap's favorite driver is.
We have Mark.
Wait, what does that say? Hold on, get in a little bit more into frame.
But what did Slap say about it?
Yeah. So we have Mark here, and we have
add Mark
Brad,
to
who's
the
behind Jason Keller, just lurking.
Can we add him to the stack of cardboard cutouts?
Wait, hold up. Does that mean you bought the car?
No, I did not buy the car.
Damn.
Because is that the same cardboard cutout from that listing you showed us?
No, I think that was like from 1998 or something. This is 93, I guess.
Sure.
I was like, hold up, did he actually fucking do it? When he's like, I could do it for tax purposes.
Make a video about it.
And then he just didn't follow up afterwards. Like, did he fucking do it? All-time favorite Dale Jr., current Larson.
Tony Stewart, all-time favorite. Currently,
your
my
current
driver's
count.
he's redacted, but he's coming back and he's winning the cup.
In the College car. Shout out.
No, dude, no, dude. Oh,
I love redacted.
What, you don't want him to be in the College car?
I'd rather have him shit on those Xfinity guys and those truck nerds, and like just get like 20 wins a season and like just say every
Matt Benedetto.
I don't know if he can get back in at Junior Motorsports.
Hey,
it might be persona non grata over there.
Yeah.
What he said. All right, next email comes in from our good friend from Down Under, Andrew R., who says, regarding episode 59, it's science time. I will not go into equations, but the reason why a cup car has a flat bottom is to compress the air moving under it and get it to move faster. Yeah. Fast moving air, low pressure, suck car to ground, ground effect.
Except when it
That's
doesn't,
basically
it
what we
goes
said.
up.
Yeah, how'd that work for Priest?
Yeah, upside down wing until it becomes a wing.
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, I saw a tweet today where someone was like, people will say the Gen 6 is gorgeous, but hate this. And it's a picture of like a 2008 car of tomorrow. And I was like, yeah, that looks horrible.
Yeah.
And the Gen 6 looks good.
I think.
Yeah, the fucking splitter is held up by wire and string.
The goofy ass wing on it.
I'm the odd one out in
100%
thinking
wing,
that
dude.
the car of tomorrows actually look kind of sick, and I know Ed would agree with me.
The 2011 ones do.
No, I'm talking about the
older
full
ones.
2008, 2009
No.
big ass splitter, big ass wing.
No, dude.
It's-
when that came out, shut up.
It's
You were
definitely
there.
rose-colored glasses. or
Yeah,
rose
shut up.
tinted glasses. Yeah,
We were all there. We were, except maybe DT. We were all there. Like we know.
It was awful.
I remember.
Like I remember seeing pre-shots of before the car tomorrow where it had the correct spoiler, it had the correct splitter. Well, there wasn't really a splitter, it was just flat. It looked like a big taller super speedway Gen 4 car. And then they came out with the wing, they came out with the ugly ass splitter.
I was on the fence for
awful.
2008 and 2009, but when I saw a blowover at Atlanta, I was like, this is the greatest car of all time.
10 out of 10.
Brad Keselowski almost died.
Guys, I
he's
don't know if I'm
driving
okay.
good.
Carl Edwards.
Yeah, the time Carl Edwards almost killed him, like part 82.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that's not the only one.
He's not gonna kill my boy.
Andrew also says my favorite NASCAR conspiracy is that NASCAR itself allows extra juicing of the Final Four in the last race of the season.
Slap believes the same.
Which is
My
why we have a
grandma-
9 out of 9 record of the champion winning the last race, which is entirely agree.
My
I think
grandma
they
has been
used
saying
to
that
do that. I don't think they do that now.
literally since the
Based off
chase
finishing
started.
positions.
My grandma has an article that she wrote into NASCAR magazine that they like printed, like a little rant of hers. I gotta find like the clipping of it she cut out.
I'm just
but yeah.
imagining like a Cody rant, but written down.
Yeah, dude, are you kidding me? These things are total.
Dude, she's hated the chase ever since it came out and is convinced that they always like juiced up the championship cars for the final contender race.
The only time I can remember it like looking like someone else was going to win was 2016 when Larson was going to win that race.
Larson
and then
almost, yeah.
who caused the caution? Something happened.
Blaney should have won
Someone,
last
like,
year.
stopped
but
on
Penske-
track.
It's true. It's true.
like-
Penske
like
wouldn't
some-
let him.
I forgot who caused the BS caution that set up the infamous restart with Edwards.
Hey, it made Jimmy Johnson a 7-time champion. Totally legitimate
did.
fashion.
Yeah, just let's no mention that he had like 12 DNFs that year. Let's just gloss
Yeah,
over that.
can we talk about the 2019 championship where JGR completely fucking biffed it so Kyle Busch would win?
My grandma's convinced that they did that
Yeah.
on purpose too. My
No, there
grandma's
was
like
a
the
whole
ultimate
thing on Twitter
conspiracy.
about it.
Fucking,
And dude, Kyle Busch, when he gets out of the car, doesn't even look happy about winning the championship. He's just
No.
like, yeah,
It was in
woo.
the plan. Whoever wrote down like I forget who tweeted about this, but they were just like, yeah, like no one before or since has ever put the wrong tires on the wrong side of the car. That was you, yeah.
Yep.
Like that's not a thing that happens, let alone in a championship race, or just slap a massive piece of tape.
A fucking hefty bag on the fucking grill and wonder why it overheats.
I remember I was watching that race with Caleb in Discord. Like Denny Hamlin has like his grill is like shrunk down to this much of an opening, and that crew member just has this massive piece of Bear Bond, and he just goes just like that meme of the flex tape guy where he slaps the thing over the water. Like it was like he meant to like cover it up completely. I'm just like, what?
Dude,
what did he think was going to happen? What was the game plan there?
The stars
again,
all aligned.
Never
for that
before or
moment.
after has there been a piece of tape that size.
The stars all aligned for that moment. That was a magical season Denny was having, and we were all convinced he might win the championship that year.
Wasn't his.
Rusty and I attended that race in person, and we were on our way down with our passes from the grandstands to the infield, and like right where the section of the stands we were in, like to get down and get to the tunnel, was directly across from his pit box, and right when we got up to the fence is when he pulled in with the thing fucking steaming, and I just look over at Rusty and he's just cackling. It's over.
Anyone but Denny. All right, next email comes in from Ryan. He says,
he hasn't sniffed an opportunity since.
He says, "Hey Shrimps, love the podcast. Keep up the good work." Shame this is the last episode ever. If you watched the F1 race at Monza, no. How do you think it went? Based on the highlights, not very exciting. Personally, Carlos versus Leclerc saved the Grand Prix, but besides the fact that Alex Albon again performed amazingly in back-to-back weeks. I did see that Lewis fans were trying to hype up the fact that he passed a Williams on Twitter, so shout out to that.
Yeah. Well, the Williams is very good on like long straight. Like they're one of the fastest cars on the straights. So it makes sense that they would be good at Monza.
Says, I did in fact lose my voice after qualifying at Zandvoort. I will be going to the F1 race in Coda in just over a month, so I'll be sharing how much a fruit bowl costs. Do let us know. And let us know what the bathrooms are like. This will be on my first road course race I'll attend, so my question for you guys is, what has been the most animalistic behavior you've seen in a road course? My fans, crew members, or drivers. Thanks for the great podcast. I don't know if I have anything specific.
It has to be the guy that fell off of the bridge.
The golf cart.
The golf cart.
Yeah. No, you're right. The guy that cracked his dome on the fucking Johnsonville
on
bridge.
Thursday, no on-track activity.
It was before sunset on Thursday. Oh my god.
Yeah, like an hour before sunset too. Wasn't even close.
Brain matter on the Johnsonville Bridge.
Yeah. Dude, and they had like 8 guys piled on a flatbed golf cart, and they were ripping it, and it was just bound to happen. But yeah, fucking pink
you
matter.
saw the stain.
Dude, there was a stain.
There was a stain the next day.
There was a stain.
No, it wasn't the next day. It was like 10
it
minutes
was that
later.
night. Yeah.
Oh my god.
We
Once
walked
they
by there
cleaned
after
it
the
up.
scene was cleared, and there was a stain.
I just remember going out of the track with Rusty to get ice, and there were like 4 ambulances blown by the other direction. We're just like, that.
It was like
whole
every
weekend is
ambulance at the
fucked.
facility that day.
I
The
gotta
race
find
car
out which.
hadn't even hit the track yet, and there's just already a dead body.
And the
I
dude
gotta find the clip
got
of
up,
us
went
originally
over to
going
like
through
the
that.
fence and just like hurled, just projectile vomiting.
Immediately.
The
Like a
moment he
solid
came
like
to, yeah.
6 feet out.
And it took about 5 seconds for Rusty to make the joke about him needing the coffin. I will never forget that sound, dude. God.
It sounded like a coconut like
Crack.
bouncing off fucking.
It sounded like a fucking like a thunderclap. Like one of those slaps that's just so loud. Anyway, Luke sent another email and he says, no subject. Just wanted to tell Slap his Mark Martin fan cam slapped. All right. I got 3 more emails, 2 of which are from Jack. And he says, so last week y'all were talking about how your parents, especially your dads, love Slap's content. It's true. Very popular among dads.
Big dad fan.
Well, my dad, who watches NASCAR, Monster Jam, Core, why, and just funny YouTube videos with me to hang out, absolutely loves when he watches those videos with me. On the way home from Richmond this year, we listened to Slap's video on the worst weather moments, as it was pouring rain. And then we listened to his Clint Boyer and Kevin Harvick videos. We're laughing our asses off, and he learned a lot from Slap's videos. And he loves liars, thieves, and lawyers. He knows about the podcast, the slap hand lore, the Caleb simpery, all of that. Honestly, he watches more Core than I did this year whenever I was reorganizing my room or with my grandparents and stuff. So shout out to my dad, I guess. Happy 60. Ed, please come back, from Jack.
Oh yeah, shout out.
That's a good email.
And
you.
Ed's dead.
Yeah,
The subject line, by the way,
on
on that email, the subject line was just daddy. Thanks, Jack. Oh, and then he sent another email about Planet of the Bass, which is that song we were talking about. He says, I don't want to hear any Kyle Gordon slander in the format of changing the girl. Every video is actually a thing in Eurovision videos. Everything was a parody, including swapping the girl. Yeah, that's what I was saying. He does make funny TikToks, but I haven't seen his New York stuff, but he's funny. I'm not hearing any slander on him. Good. I wasn't delivering any. And okay, we got one last email.
Oh no.
It's something, gang.
Does he show shrimp?
All right. This one's from Mark.
She show shrimp?
And it says, "Hey Shrimps, it's Mark once again. I forgot to write in last week because surprisingly, this is the guy who had just insane shit going down at his high school, if you remember."
Oh yeah.
He says, "I forgot to write in last week because surprisingly, nothing absolutely insane has happened at school since the first week. Also, no, I do not live in Florida. I instead go to school in San Antonio, Texas, which explains a lot."
All right, well that's close enough.
It's Florida 2.0.
Yeah.
I really do not understand why my school is so bad, because there's literally a school in our district that's essentially the school from High School Musical. They have stupid good sports teams and no acts of murder or arson ever go on there. Because there's not much new to share, I'm going to go ahead and talk about some of the outrageous things that have happened in the last few years at my school. Starting off, we have the acts of arson from last year. A bunch of fires kept getting started in trash cans, but we'd never had to be evacuated for those. The only 2 times we had to evacuate were because of people lighting posters on fire. The first one happened in January when some paper off the wall of a 3rd floor room caught fire. This caused us to miss 8th period, and it's confirmed this fire was accidental. Okay. The second time, however, was 100% arson. 2 kids were expelled for setting a big pride poster on the 2nd floor hallway on fire. Damn.
Jesus Christ.
It only caused us to miss
Texas
2 class
things.
periods, and they still made us finish the school day. And he's attached an image of the incident,
Oh.
which is what I saw at first, and it is
Oh my God.
Oh.
it is a fire in a high school hallway.
Shout out to that hero running towards the flames.
Yeah, I guess it's like a hall monitor or something, but yeah, it's
Or running
yeah.
away.
Yeah. That's arson.
I guess she's heading towards the exit sign, yeah.
That's pretty clear. There was also a moment later in the year where a light in the cafeteria started smoking, but there were no evacuations for that. Those acts are all I'm going to share today. The fires got so bad that our school is now known as the Arson School of the District, and there's a whole Instagram account dedicated to reporting anytime something is on fire.
Jesus.
Next week, I'm going to I-37 Speedway, hopefully, so I'll get to talk about racing and actually cool stuff instead of my arson school. Thank you, Mark. That's incredible.
Hopefully there's no arson at the track.
If anything was ever set on fire at your high school, send us an email.
Send them in, guys.
ShrimpHoursPresents@gmail.com. I would love to hear about it.
It's
God.
Jobber.
We got one video to show you for a little crazy ass moment segment because Cody sent in the video.
Oh, I was just scrolling through
Crazy-ass
Reddit earlier.
videos.
This is why I started giggling. This one
is titled "Now That's What I Call Windy." I'm not going to play the audio from it, but
You don't even need to.
it's just a quick clip. I think we're in China or like Hong Kong or Singapore or something, and it's windy. It's real windy.
Oh my god!
and this person gets launched. I think this is Singapore.
Dude, she slid so.
She comes around this corner going, boom. She makes it. I mean, she falls short of the intersection on the sidewalk and slides almost clear of the entire intersection. And her like umbrella's gone.
Her
and
shoes
shit's
gone.
everywhere.
No, she got her shoes still.
Shout out to the cameraman for helping her out. But
Her face skin is
dude, he's just trying to film the wind, and she just comes flying around this corner.
Her umbrellas are gone, her shoes are gone, her nose is gone. Just
Jesus
ground away.
Christ.
It's a good thing that she at least avoided that pole that was right there.
That's true. She had a good,
my
She
good
would have
dodge
gone
there.
face first into that pole.
She still ate ground though, but that slide, the distance on, I mean, you're going all the way across there on the ground.
Dude, it
That's
looks like she was
incredible.
sliding into home plate in the World Series.
Oh,
Safe.
man.
Jesus Christ. All right. I like throwing one of those in there at the end just to.
Oh,
Palate cleanser.
Yeah, really.
After the
Lord.
arson talk.
We were everywhere tonight. Jesus Christ.
This has got to be the longest one ever.
I know it's.
It has broken the record. We just crossed 2 hours.
Oh,
I know it was kind of a throwaway line, but my vote for the title is brain matter on the Johnsonville Bridge.
I like acidic Eldora soil.
The
That
acidic
one-
Eldora still is pretty good, but I also like the brain stain. Just the
Brain stain.
But I mean, we hardly talked about that
Brain
though.
stain.
That's what I'm saying. It was such a throwaway line. I don't know. Nothing really stood out to me in this one as like.
I'm
the
cool with
line.
brain stain.
brain stain. Brain stain in the arson high school.
Oh fuck!
What are we thinking?
My stomach hurts.
Brain stain.
That's like brain,
Brain
stain.
stain.
Yeah.
All right.
Rolls
Thanks
off
for
the
the
tongue.
thanks for the emails as always. Send them in, guys. And we'll be back. Absolutely never, because it's the last episode of this show.
The brain. Somebody needs to go back
Thanks
to
for
Road America
watching.
see if the brain stain is still there.
Yeah. Hey, if you know someone who's at Road America, please on the
Johnsonville
northern
Bridge.
side of the Johnsonville Bridge. Go for the
Yeah,
for
outside of
brain
the
stain.
track,
Cat.
Johnsonville Bridge.
Look at that cat.
This cat.
Squish
All
that
right.
cat.
Everyone say bye.
Out.
That'll be Ben's face cam representative on the thumbnail.